Mo Sports Nation, welcome back. I hope everyone is staying safe and healthy. I'm Rob Kleinen. As always, the one and only Connor Peters.
The NFL schedule has recently been released, and so we're going to look through the Chiefs' schedule and give our predictions on their record next season.
So the Chiefs' 2020 schedule kicks off on a Thursday night, September 10th game against Houston here at Arrowhead Stadium. It's going to be exciting. It's a rematch of the playoff game. We were down 24 points, came back and won, 51-31.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this Thursday night game? This is the kickoff.
I think this is going to be a challenging game for both teams. The NFL obviously chose this game because, one, it's a playoff rematch. The second thing is you have two dynamic, exciting quarterbacks. It's going to be a shootout, and so there will be high ratings for this game. I think the Chiefs are going to win, though.
Yeah, I think they'll win this as well. Speaking of that game, the first four games are against three teams that were in the playoffs last year. So we have a tough schedule starting right out of the gate. Week 2 is against who?
The Chargers. And what's funny about the first four games actually is they're all AFC powerhouse teams. Start off against the Texans. Week 2 we go to the Chargers. Week 3 we go to Baltimore. Week 4 we host the Patriots. Those first four games will be the most telling stretch of the entire season. If the Chiefs can find some way to go 4-0 in that stretch, I think you could almost write them in as the number one seed in the AFC, because the teams that will challenge them for that number one seed in the playoffs will be Houston, Baltimore, New England, and we get to play all of them in the first 4 weeks of the season.
Yeah, looking at the first four games, I have them winning against Houston. I have them winning against San Diego. They lost Rivers. I don't know who their quarterback is. I don't think we'll have an issue with San Diego. Baltimore, it's a prime time. It's Monday night, the 29th or 28th. I think we're going to lose.
Yeah.
I think we're going to lose. I think Baltimore is like you said, it's a powerhouse. I think they're hungry. I think they lost. When they lost the playoff game, there were doubters out there that Lamar Jackson can do whatever he can, but he cannot win a playoff game. I think we'll lose. But that game is that's a pivotal game because it's going to be 1 and 2, Baltimore and Kansas City. Baltimore and Kansas City, or Kansas City, Baltimore. It's going to be 1 or 2 seed right there. And I think if we happen to lose against Baltimore, we'll be a number 2 seed. The next game, New England, it's at New England, or no, it's home.
Home game.
But I finally, it's home. That's
Yep.
crazy. But I think we'll win on that. What do you think?
I also think we'll win, and a fun little tidbit that will have no bearing on the game but is still a fun fact. The last time that the Chiefs played New England in Week 4 was in 2014, also a home game. It was a Monday night game. The Chiefs set the crowd noise record, and they routed the Patriots. Of course, Tom Brady was their quarterback at the time. Now things are a bit different,
Right.
I'm not scared of New England Week 4. I think we're going to take that game. I'm going to make a bold prediction and say that we're going to go 4-0 in that opening stretch of the season. Very bold prediction, but I think the Chiefs know what's at stake. If they can go 4-0 in that stretch, they've almost as good as locked up the number one seed, at least early in the race.
I agree. I think if they do win against Baltimore, I think we're number one seed. I'm going to say that we're 3-1, ending the first quarter of the season. The only loss, I believe, will come to the Baltimore Ravens.
So weeks 5 through 8 are comparatively more mundane than the opening 4 weeks of the NFL season. So we start week 5 versus the Las Vegas Raiders. We get to host them. The Raiders haven't proven very much in the last 10 or so years, perhaps longer than that. I think that's an automatic Chiefs win, especially being at home. The next game is a Thursday nighter at Buffalo, and they're a playoff contender. What do you think about that game?
It's a primetime game. I think we have this upcoming schedule. I think we're primetime at least 5 games.
Yep.
I know they have the availability to do flex games later on this season against the Saints. I believe is going to be moved to a flex game. So there's a possibility of 6 primetime games. This Buffalo game is a primetime game, Thursday night, October 15th. Playoff contender. I honestly believe Buffalo is going to win the division.
Yeah.
Now that Brady's gone, I don't think New England will sustain what they have over the last decade. But I believe we have a better team, and I believe we'll win that game.
The next game is at Denver, week 7. The last time the Chiefs played at Denver was when Patrick Mahomes injured his leg, and Matt Moore came in and closed out the game. It was a Chiefs win. Hopefully this time around Mahomes can stay healthy. I think he will. It's always tough to play in that altitude in Denver, but I think the Chiefs will pull out another win here.
Yeah, Denver is always a tough team to play, and I believe we're going to win that game as well.
And then week 8, it's versus the New York Jets. I really don't know about the Jets. Coaching and quarterback wise, I don't know quite if they have a formula yet for what they want their franchise to look like. I think this is probably the easiest game of this 4-week stretch. I think that's a pretty easy win for the Chiefs, and again, it's at Arrowhead. Hard to lose there.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're going to end the second quarter of the season with a record of 7-1. What do you think? You have them going undefeated in the first quarter.
Yes, in fact, I have the Chiefs going undefeated through the first 8 games at least.
All right.
And that's very bold, but they've done it before. In Andy Reid's first season with KC, they went 9-0. I think it's possible this season.
So we went over the first half of the season, and you predicted they would go
8-0.
8-0, and I predicted that they would go 7-1. So starting the third quarter, there's also a bye week in this quarter. So who are we playing?
So we start off week 9 against the Carolina Panthers. This is a home game. I have the Chiefs going 8-0 to this point. There's always that point in the season where the Chiefs drop a fluke game. I think this will be the fluke game. No particular reason other than it's usually about this time of the season that the Chiefs will drop 1 or 2 silly games. It won't have much of a bearing on the playoff race because it's an NFC team, but I'll say that they'll lose to the Carolina Panthers. Luckily, week 10 there's a bye week, so they can enter the bye week and correct any issues that they have.
I have them winning against Carolina. They lost Cam Newton. I know they still have McCaffrey, and he's a very pivotal part of their team. Very good athlete. But I think that they'll pull Carolina out. Like you said, they have the bye week, and the bye week falls in week 10. In 2019 season, it was a very late bye week, and I know a lot of teams prefer the bye week either being in the middle or somewhat where it is for this season because of injuries and getting people healthy. After the bye week, we are at Las Vegas against the Raiders. It's a primetime game. What do you think?
I actually think the Chiefs are going to sweep their division rivals this season. So obviously a win at Las Vegas. I'm not a huge believer in the Broncos, the Chargers, or the Raiders. They haven't proven that much to me in the last several seasons. So I really have no reason to believe that the Chiefs could drop this game. Mahomes will have a clutch primetime performance, and the Chiefs will beat the Raiders.
I know Andy Reid, after the bye week, is is notorious for having a very winning record. You know, for that following a bye week. I'm going to say that this is their game that they lose. Nothing works right. You know, you have the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to say it's this game against the Raiders where they drop the ball, literally, and they lose this game.
Week 12 is very interesting. We fly to Tampa Bay to play Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, and the Buccaneers. That will be a very interesting game. I'm honestly surprised that it's not a primetime game.
Yes, I honestly thought this matchup would be the Thursday night opening game for the NFL season. I don't know why I know why they chose Houston because it's a playoff rematch, but with the news surrounding Tom Brady going to Tampa Bay and Rob Gronkowski coming to the team, I thought for sure the NFL would put this as the opening game. But they didn't. It's late in the season, and I think they're going to lose. I think after the bye week, they have some issues. They may have some health issues. I think they lose 2 games in a row.
I think the Chiefs will take this game. Mahomes in his career is 1-2 against Tom Brady. I think he's going to even the score. The Buccaneers are a very good team, so it will be a close game, but I believe the Chiefs are going to pull off this win, and there's going to be so much media hype regardless of the result.
Okay. Yeah. No. I agree. I agree. There will be a lot of media about this game and this matchup. We finish up the third quarter against who?
Denver, and it is another primetime game. Divisional rival primetime. It's the perfect time for Mahomes to show his skills.
You have them winning that?
Of course.
Yeah, I have them winning that as well. After a 2-game losing streak, I think they get their act together. It's a primetime game. It's against a division rival. I think they pull this one out pretty easily.
And this one is at Arrowhead, so definitely advantage to the Chiefs there.
So after 3 quarters, you have them winning 11.
Yes, all but one.
Or actually, all but one, right?
11-1.
11-1, and I have them 9-3. So
either way, it's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
So for the last stretch of the regular season, we've got the Dolphins, the Saints, the Falcons, and the Chargers in that order. The Dolphins are definitely a rebuilding franchise. They are doing a good job of rebuilding, and they're getting a lot of key pieces, but they're not in any shape to beat the reigning Super Bowl champions. Even though it's at Miami, I think the Chiefs pull out a pretty reasonably easy win.
Yeah, I agree. I think Miami, they are a rebuilding team. I think it's going to be an easy win for the Chiefs.
Week 15 is a huge game. And if there's any game that will be a shootout, it will be Week 15. The Chiefs travel to New Orleans. So it is Drew Brees versus Patrick Mahomes. What a great matchup.
Yeah, this is a 3:25 game. It's Sunday, December 20th. I believe that this is where the NFL will flex this game. It's going to be a primetime Sunday night game. I agree. I think it's going to be a shootout. And I'm going to say the Chiefs pull this one out. I think they get their act together after their 2-game losing streak. And it's going to be the Rams and the Chiefs of 2018. Remember that game when it was 54-51? It's going to be a shootout. I think the Chiefs pull this out.
I agree. It will be a very close game. Both teams are high-powered. They have sound defenses, but of course we're looking at the quarterbacks. It's Drew Brees, one of the greatest all time, and Patrick Mahomes, who will probably become the greatest of all time. Very high scoring. I do think the Chiefs edge out the Saints just barely on the road. Week 16 is versus the Falcons. It's here in Kansas City. I've been calling a lot of wins for the Chiefs. I think at this point maybe they get a little too confident and they drop this game. It probably has no bearing on the playoff race because it's against an NFC team. So I think this is another game that the Chiefs drop, just a fluke game that they quite don't have it figured out.
Yeah, I'm gonna say they win against the Falcons. It is at Arrowhead. They finished the season, the last 2 games at home. I believe I think the Falcons. I think it's going to be a fairly easy matchup. So I'm going to say the Chiefs win this game.
And then Week 17, closing it out against the Chargers at home, just like last season. I think the result is pretty similar. Chiefs win.
I'm going to say the Chiefs win, but I think this game is going to be used where they sit some players. I think they've wrapped up a playoff spot, either the first or the second seed, depending on how they do against Baltimore. I think the Chiefs will finish second seed in the playoffs, just like they did this past season. I think they use this last game as a resting game where they rest players. But I also think that we still win this game. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think we pull it out. So with the 4 quarters completed, and we're going to be moving into the playoffs, I have the Chiefs finishing the regular season at 13-3. They lose 2 in a row. They lose to the Buccaneers and to the Raiders in that stretch. What do you have them?
I have the Chiefs going 14-2 next regular season. I know that's a very bold and very confident prediction, but they did just win the Super Bowl, so I'll cut them a ton of slack, maybe too much, but I think they're only going to drop 2 games. I'm that much of a believer in Mahomes.
So, as we were talking about as far as playoff seeding, I have them at the 2 seed. I have them losing against Baltimore early on in the season, and I have Baltimore as a 1 seed. What do you have them at?
The Chiefs are going to be the 1 seed in my eyes. I have them defeating Baltimore early in the season. I think that game is going to have a huge role in determining the playoff seeding. I think the Chiefs beat Baltimore, get the number 1 seed.
Okay, so we've just went over the 2020 Chiefs NFL schedule. We've both given our prediction of what their record will be at the end of the regular season. What we want from you is we want everybody that watches this comment on what your prediction will be for their record at the end of the regular season. What their seed would be if they're in the playoffs. If you participate and you comment and you are subscribed to our channel, we are going to give away a $25 gift card, and the drawing will be held next Saturday, May 16th. So, it's on you. Watch, learn, participate, and win a gift card. Thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time.